Okay. Bear with me here. Usually you have Sandra, who's in charge of all the systems here, assisting us, but no this time. So bear with me. We have also another device this way. So if you see me look at this way, it's because of that. Okay, perfect. Let me share the screen. Great. Okay, almost here. Okay. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Welcome to Iconic Receivership. I would love for you if you can drop me here in the chat from what place are you tuning in. While you're doing that, I'm gonna go over some housekeeping. For the next 25, 30 minutes, give yourself permission to stop managing everyone's world. Close all the tabs, silence the phone. I know for many of us it's not convenient to turn off the phone. Put it on silence. People can wait. I want you to give yourself this time, not only to give yourself the opportunity to change the perspective when it comes to our receivership, but to integrate, okay? Which actually led me to the next point, which is this session is not passive. Participation matters. I want you to participate here, maybe drop an aha moment, or while we're doing the exercises, I want you to drop your answers here in the chat. It's gonna be really helpful for you. All right, let me read you here in the comments. Okay, we have people from California, Miami, Cabo San Lucas, which is Mexico, Dallas, Chicago, Canada, Brisbane, it's Australia, right? Okay, mistaken. London, amazing. All right, perfect. Let's move forward. But before I take you to 2022, which actually this experience craft reshaped the way that I was seeing business, receivership, and the way that I was leading. Before I go in depth into that, this conversation is really important for you as well as for me. Because between now until 2030, there's a big transfer of money. More money is going to arrive to women's hands. But the question here, and I want you to pay close attention, how much money you want to receive between today and 2030? And not only that, are you ready to receive it? To hold the money? To normalize large amounts, high ticket? Because it's not only about receiving more or about having all the ideas, all the possibility that actually this transfer of money is happening now. It's not if what if is happening. Are you ready to receive it? Are you preparing yourself? And I'm not saying only with your business, because your business is an avenue, a channel, right? Through your services, through your products. It doesn't matter in what field you're in. But are you preparing you for that? Are you sharpening your skill set? Are you sharpening your capacity to hold, to normalize? Are you stepping into this identity, the way of seeing yourself that is actually a match for that? Because we can wish, we can hope, but if we don't take any action, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Drop me here in the chat and how you feel about that. And I'm not talking about the FOMO. I'm not talking about you're going to miss out. No, I'm talking about being aware, moving, taking action. One of the things that I was sharing a lot, and specifically if you follow me in Instagram, is that we talk about awareness. We talk about doing more inner work. But if we're only knowing the things. If only we doing the inner work, but there's no action, there's no preparation, it's useless. It's useless. Okay, let me take you back to 2022. In this specific year, I went through a series of experiences. I don't call it stories. And I'm sharing this not from a place of, oh, this happened to me, poor me. No, actually, this specific event prepared me to be the one now that if someone comes to me and maybe they're going through a situation like this, I know how to move the pieces that are going to help her not only to move from this place, but to actually sharp her receivership. So in a single day, I received a 55K. The following day, 2 transactions fell apart, 2 of them. I remained with the 25K, which actually, if you think it this way, is pretty good. I'm not saying that. But this incident cracked me open. I saw my business, my receivership, money, and me in a different way. I saw the tension, the overthinking, those moments of trying to micro control everything. And instead of enjoying the business again, instead of enjoying on selling, I start to acting more cautious. I start to acting more with more common sense, but not in the way that we know we have to have this understanding of how to enter into situations or not. I was protecting myself, if you will. I was reacting. And yes, I did some mighty work. Yes, I did things that we're gonna go in the following slides, but that specific event led me to realizing something. Receiving more money and holding more money are not the same conversations. Let me repeat that again. Receiving more money and holding more money are not the same conversations. Because you can create levels you still don't know how to inhabit. That's why, one second, that's why the yo-yo effect. Or you're selling high ticket and then a part of that collapse. And the mistake most women make, and let me clarify this. I don't like to use the word mistake for this specific example. I'm going to use it for the sake of clarity here. The mistake more women make is that, well, and I used to do this. If I want to make more money, I need more strategy, more content, marketing, visibility, which are huge. I'm not denying this, huge part. But if your receivership is out of balance, if your receivership is not a match to the thing that you want, it doesn't matter if you have all this. I promise you. Or in the other hand, when it comes to the personal development world, I want to receive more money. Well, I need more regulation, more meditations, more visualizations, more inner work. All that is valid as well. But it's not the root. What if the problem, or let's remove the problem. What if the root is in the expansion? What if the root is the receivership? The receivership. I want you to, I was saying to one of these clients, brain tattoo that phrase. Brain tattoo that specific word, not phrase, word, receivership. Many women know how to create, but few know how to sustain. Many women know how to generate, but few women know how to normalize this. Many women know how to touch new levels excuse me, but actually, just few live there. Just few live there. Let that sink. Let that sink. Now, let's go to the integration part. Let's go to the integration part. Okay? Give me 1 second. Okay, let me just check something real quick. 1 second. So, 1 second. Okay, perfect. We're back. Okay, let's go to the integration part. I want you to participate here in the chat. It's going to be really helpful because, like I said before, you and me, we don't need more information. The name of the game is integration, is consolidation. And we integrate when we do the exercises, when we take action and see the feedback. We feel their responses, their reactions, okay? Okay, perfect. Can you receive 10K without going into pressure? Can you receive 10K without going into pressure? I read you here in the comments. I'm gonna give you a couple seconds. Let's do 30 seconds. Can you, it's a yes or no. Can you receive 10K without going into pressure? Yes, yes, maybe. Okay. Okay. If you're watching this via replay, do the exercise. It's really important for you. Next one. Can you receive 25K without feeling like you now have to prove more? And when I said proving, I don't want you to fall into this trap. I used to fall into this trap. Let's say you're selling a 25K package. And immediately, even without even knowing, you want to do the heavy lifting. And when I said the heavy lifting, you want to take responsibility for both, for the client and for you. And if you do that, it's going to be a lose-lose situation. And especially with high ticket, if you're charging 25K for whatever product or service, it's going to be a partnership. It's going to be a partnership. It's going to be a partnership. But if you try to compensate, if you try to prove more, it's not going to work out. And also the client is going to feel that. The client is going to feel that. Okay, next one. Can you raise your prices without justifying yourself? Can you raise your prices without seeing what is going on in the market, without seeing what is that woman who has 1 million followers is charging $5? Do you want to charge 5K? Can you raise your prices without justifying yourself? Can you raise your prices and can you hold the possible judgment? Because there will be people that even if you, let's say you want to charge high ticket, there will be people that will say, I will never pay that. And that's okay. You don't just right there. I want you to notice, first of all, that person is not going to be your client, even if you reduce that to the ridiculous. Second, you don't want that people in your container. Third, even if you justify, they always have a reason why you cannot do that, why it's too expensive, why it's not convenient. So read you here in the comments. That make me nervous. I don't want to be judged. Okay. Can you receive attention without wanting to hide? And when attention, I'm not saying just visibility. Attention when someone question you online, when someone put your finger out there, the finger out there. Can you receive attention? And when I'm saying attention, it could be quote unquote positive or bullshit. Can you receive attention without even right here? I put without wanting to hide, without feeling, without actually letting your emotions take over. Can you receive attention feeling neutral? And this also led me to the following. Can you receive recognition without minimizing it? Without saying, well, it's because of that, this, and that. Can you own it? Let me share an example. Let's say you have a beautiful dress and someone is saying to you, wow, well, you look beautiful. Oh, yeah, it's because of the dress. The dress could be one part, but you own it. What if your service, your product, whatever, is really good and you receive praise and immediately you delegate that praise to something else? Can you hold it? Can you say, thank you? Just that simple as that. Now that you have the questions, I want you to really be honest with you. How you felt? Uncomfortable? How in the heaven I'm going to charge 25K? Or maybe you're charging high ticket. If that is for you, it's just normal. Let's say, what if you want to create a 100K container? How that feels? Or immediately your mind, oh, I have to make sure that this works. And I'm going to remark again. Clients like you and me, we don't need 20,000 things. When I want something, I don't question how much she or he is charging. I question if I'm gonna move and how I'm gonna do it. That's it. Let's move forward. Okay. If any of those questions before, the answer was no, or I'm not sure, kind of back and forward on the middle, we're not looking at a strategy route, because remember we switched the word from problem to route. We're looking at a receivership route. Receivership. Bring that to the receivership. Now I'm going to present to you this concept. This concept is actually original from the House of Legends. You're not going to find this everywhere, anywhere. Receivership architecture. What do I mean with that? When we think about receivership, I used to think that when we think about receivership, most people reduce receivership to nervous system regulation, which actually is part of the architecture, but it's not all. Receivership is an architecture. There are few components, actually 6, that are going to help you to become that match, to be that woman who is a bigger receivership, who can receive high ticket, who can receive without guilt, without overgiving, without overextending, who can receive hold and normalize that. Why is important to hold? Because you can receive something and immediately remove it from your life. You can receive something great and immediately your system can detect that as a virus and immediately remove it. You can receive something great and feel that so much uncomfortable that you're gonna find a way to remove it from your life. And we don't want that. We want to become that receivership that is able to hold with ease, not hold it with force or willpower or doing 20,000 things or trying to manipulate things. Hold it, normalize it, feeling good, feeling your second nature. Feeling your second nature. Let's be real. When something is natural for you, let's say when all year long, you maintain your body. You're in shape. You don't question every single day or every single hour that I'm this way, I'm that way. You know, it's normal. It's normal for you to eat healthy. It's normal for you to exercise. It's not like something from other world. Makes sense? It's normal for you. If you invest in high ticket, it's normal for you. Even, and I'm not saying that memberships and low ticket is bad. It's good. It's an entry point, right? But for you, sometimes it's not comfortable to invest in a $200 offer because you know that that is part, but it's not the whole thing. It's not going to make you grow because a container of 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, whatever dollars is not only the container. It's not only the woman that can hold that. Is the environment that you are a match and that you're gonna enter there. Make sense? So let's move forward with the 6 elements. Okay, the first one, nervous system regulation. But I want you to pay close attention and I want you to answer the questions. Okay, we're not passive here. What happens in your body when something good happens? What happens in your body when something good happens? Because let's be honest, we observe our bodies when things go wrong, but we never observe our bodies when something significant happens. And right there, you have the key. Your system reveals capacity. So what happens in your body when something good happens? Does it speed up? You get tense. You want to control. It wants to hide, to close up. What happened? Let's bring an example. Let's say if right now you have a client that is ready, that is gonna pay you 50K, painful, and is sending you a DM or whatever the sales process for you, and saying to you, send me your bank details, I'm in, and thank you, I'm gonna pay in full. What happens in your body when that, imagine what happens immediately? That is your answer. And I'm not saying that we don't feel this excitement and we celebrate, but it feels normal. It feels obvious. It feels like it's obvious. Oh, good. Let me send you this. And you're not overdoing things. You're not checking every single minute if that transaction is into the system. You trust. You're not like, okay, whatever it is, I'm sending you this. You do your part, and that's it. It's a co-creation. Let's move to the second element here. Identity. Are you identifying yourself with a woman who's receiving, and you can fill the blank or not? It's that simple. Most women have an identity of wanting something, or not many holding the identity, not many possess the identity of holding it. Let me give you a context here. Example, I want to charge 10K, 50K, 100K. I want $1 million business. I want premium clients, but internally, you still feel like a beginner. A beginner in order to charge those prices. You feel like you are in the process, or you feel like you're trying to get there, you're not still that woman. And listen close here. Your system will always organize around who you believe you are, not about the things that you want. Not about the things that you want. Even for you, this happened for me a lot. When I started to investing, I invest in high ticket. My first investment was high ticket. And I'm not saying that low ticket is not good. There's an entry point. Even the YouTube videos are an entry point, the free ones, right? I'm not saying that. But I immediately identify myself as a high ticket customer. When someone offered me like $100 something, $20, even if it is that good, I'd rather prefer that is free and then invest in a high ticket. Is the way that I see myself. And I'm not saying that you see yourself that way. But if you want to attract clients that pay you, and I'm saying you can attract clients that pay high ticket and could be in payment plans or paying for whatever. But you first have to see yourself as that woman. That is not like, oh my gosh. Makes sense? There's not a spike. You identify yourself as that woman. Even if you're not investing yet, you're investing in the thought of, okay, if I'm that woman, how I can make this happen? How can move things? How can move resources? Because now you're thinking from that frequency, from that identity. Makes sense? That actually, let me go back. Actually, identity is a big part of the program that we are now about to start. Actually, it's on June 18th, the woman behind the business. But before identity, there's another big component that when we don't have that in place, it doesn't matter if you do the identity work and all those things. But I'm not going to divagate. Let's move forward. Okay. If you want to know more information, you can DM us as well. So the third element, standards. Let's say someone bought from you a 10K, 5K, 2K, 20K offer. So your standards went up, remain, or went down? Because many women receive money and immediately, pay close attention here, immediately begin to over-deliver, giving away extra time, answering additional messages, creating exceptions, not because they want. And let me share something with you. That is not even a service. That is insecurity masked as service. Insecurity at its best. Let that sink. Moving ahead. Boundaries. This was huge thing for me. What are your boundaries? What are the things that are non-negotiable for you, even if the client has the money to invest? What are the boundaries when someone enters into your containers? What are the boundaries regarding about your time, about the proximity, about the money? What are those boundaries? Because if you don't sustain, if your business don't sustain a healthy level of boundaries, if everything is negotiable, you're gonna find yourself surrounded with people that you don't want to work. You're gonna feel really upset, and you're gonna start hating what you're doing. The boundaries start and end with you. Clear boundaries. And there's so many people that will not like those boundaries, and that's okay. Someone is not a match for you, that's okay. When someone come to me and want to work with me, we evaluate first if we are a good fit. Because if not, it's gonna be a lose-lose situation. Offers. No one talks about this, but I'm doing it. There are women charging prices that they still don't fully feel. Maybe you want to charge 20K, but immediately you feel that contraction, that fucking contraction. And if you don't feel it, that it's natural that, okay, yeah, it's obvious that someone is going to pay me 20K because this is going to happen after that. You will start to compensate, to justify, or to over-explain. And you will attract people that will reflect that. I promise you that. So whenever you want to increase your prices, one of the exercises that I do is actually, you can do it even with more. 10 things that person is going to receive. Not the PDFs, not the, she's going to feel more confident, all those things. What are the things that you know that by that person going through your offer, through your 3 months, 1 month, 6 months together, she's going to get if she's doing the work. Go deep. What are those lifetime benefits? What are those time benefits? One of the things that comes to my mind every single time that when I want to invest or when things are getting just rough, I think about the first high ticket offer that I bought. That offer changed the direction of my life. I was working back then into as a dental assistant. And right after, I would say 2 3 months, 2 months after I bought that, I removed myself from that. I started traveling and all those things. So that offer, that single offer, and it wasn't cheap, opened the door for more things, opened the door for more things. And I was able to buy that because the man who sold me that was owning the investment. He knew that by me entering there, I was about to get something bigger that I was currently holding. Make sense? So let's move to the next one, normalization. What feels normal to you and why? Why? Questioning here. Why maybe for you feels normal 5K, 10K, 20K a month? Why? Or vice versa. Why feels normal for you to be in the plateau? Why feels normal for you to have the spikes? Why? Or if someone wants to pay you in full, a high ticket, do you still feel that sensation of a like a spike, like, oh God, a good look thing? Because if you do, you will celebrate it, you will lose it, and you will chase it again. It has to become normal. And when I'm saying normal, how I'm making sure, one, there's few things that we can get to do, but how I feel, how I make myself a match for that. First of all, you have to understand why something doesn't feel normal, what story is behind, what do you believe, and ask yourself as well, is that thing is even yours? Because maybe you believe that people don't have any money in this economy. Who told you that? Because there are other women thriving. Who told you that you have to give 20,000 things for all that in order to charge this? Who told you that? And when we start questioning, we start feeling, okay, this feels more good, more good. I feel more in resonance with this. Oh, it feels more good. And you also practice this. Practice in your mind for 2 minutes. You're receiving a $10,000 check, 20,000, how that feels. And you start seeing like, oh, you start normalizing those numbers, even playing around, being mindful about that. Okay. Because if something is not normal for you, it's going to feel like a virus. 1 second. It's going to feel like a virus. Let's move forward. How is, how does land for you? The receiver architecture, something new different way of seeing things. It's a whole component. It's not just one thing. It's not putting the heavy lifting in the nervous system. Also on your offers, also on your standards, your boundaries, normalization. Make sense? My main takeaway from 2022 was not the lack of information. It was actually, I was needing consolidation. Consolidation of the things that, consolidations of the things that I mentioned before. Having clear boundaries, looking at my receivership, being able to see what standards I was missing, the boundaries, the offers, all that. Because it's a component. It is a component. And this is one of the most important conversations, like I said before, in the first minutes of this interaction, because we are in one of the biggest transfers of wealth, and that will require us to be ready, not only to receive, but to hold it, to normalize that. And that is not going to happen by accident. It's going to happen by you having, first, being really honest with What are you currently experiencing? And not just living there, being willing to move, being willing to do the work, which now you know is consolidation. It's no more information, it's consolidation. And from there, the skill sets, maybe changing the offers. There's a whole architecture as well. This is one of the reasons that why I create a woman behind the business, because the woman behind the business is for the woman who want this stable, steady business that actually feels right, feels really good, and she feels really right when it comes to different elements. I'm gonna mention those really quick, okay? By the way, you're gonna receive an email with more of the opportunities that we have. Like I mentioned, one of them, the woman behind the business, but also we have another ways to co-create. The woman behind the business has 7 elements: your internal positioning, your consciousness, identity, nervous system, neutrality, business structure, execution, action, standards. When there's an order, because when we have that order, we can identify where we can readjust, remove, or reinforce that part, and have the whole ecosystem work in our favor. And it's the same thing here when it comes to receivership, which is really big part of the nervous system. When we have this architecture in place about the receivership, when we have those 6 elements, it's a win-win situation for you and for the people that are around you, because now you are a match for that. Now you can help people actually in a big way. You're a business owner. Money is really important for you. And I don't have to convince you that the people that get to attract are really ambitious as well as me. But in order for what is coming and what actually is not even coming, what we're experiencing right now, we have to be ready. We have to have the proper tools. I don't want you to still hold this misconception of, well, I know that, I know not that. Knowing is not the same of integration. Knowing is not the same of or consolidation. Knowing that you need more boundaries doesn't mean that you want to hold them. Knowing that you're worth more doesn't mean that you can charge more. Knowing that you deserve more doesn't mean that you can sustain more. Knowing is not the same of integration or memorization. If today you saw places where there's still contraction around that, that's why I told you, pay attention to your body, to you, know what's going on out there around receiving, holding, normalized at higher levels. Now you know what part of the work needs to be consolidated. My work is not only to support you, but it's to help you to turn that into a standard. If you want to know more, if you really just like I told you, you are a woman like me. It's like, oh God, I want to become in this receivership, not only a match for more, but able to hold it, to normalize that. Now you know the work. Now you know the work. All right, before we wrap up, thank you. Let me stop the sharing the screen here. I will love for you if you can drop in here in the chat, what was the main takeaway? What was the main takeaway? How you felt? What was the main thing for you? I read you here. Mind blowing about the architecture. Grateful. I feel grateful. Okay, cool. I need to watch all those 25K. Yeah. But the most important part here is to take action. Take action. Either if it is with me or with someone else, take action. At the final of the day, when we work with someone, it's a win-win situation. I don't want you to think that, oh, I'm going to be in the same place if I don't work with Graciela or all that. Come to me because you're like, you know what? There's something for me. Let me see how can I do this. Let me tell you, I went through most of the things that as a woman in business, you don't want to go through. That's why when we work together, I want to make sure that it's a partnership. Because if we want to share, I'm not saying that we're going to share this for the woman behind the business last 3 months. I'm not going to share, I'm not going to see that all 3 months together. It's actually 3 months sharing or feel. That is a huge thing. And I only want to work with women that actually are like me. They're looking for partnership. They're not looking for someone who's all aware. Partnership. Because when it's a partnership, it's really delicious to work with someone. Because they're doing the work. They're not in the victimhood or trying to look for motivation. Yes, and I'm not saying that we are perfect, and there's so many days that I don't feel my best, but when I do have accountability, when I do have someone, when I buy something that is not going to it's going to help me to advance in the direction that I do want, I do the work, and that moves the needle. Okay, amazing. So thank you so much for being here. If you're watching this via replay, make sure to share it if you want with the people that you know that will be favoriting themselves with this material as well. Okay, you can follow us back on Instagram. If you have additional questions, let us know, and we'll see you in the next